Welcome at Klieverik webinar at SGI Dubai. My name is Joris Schuurman, Area Sales Manager at Klieverik, and this is Johan.
Yes, my name is Johan. Welcome at the webinar. Enjoy today, and if you have any questions, please send us a chat message. Okay, we go over to the presentation. Let's switch it on. Presentation, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, Jörg.
Okay, a brief introduction about Klieverik. Tell you more about the history of Klieverik. The origin starts in the 60s, where we were part of the Stork printing division. We're producing at that time for company Stork calendars. You still find these calendars in some areas in the world. And in the 90s, Klieverik became an independent company, and since then we produce the calendars under the brand name Klieverik. Nowadays we have in more than 50 countries over 2,500 installations of rotary heat presses.
So the scope of activities from Klieverik. Now we have five activities that we are doing, and that's one of them is the design and engineering. So we have our own engineering. We have, of course, our marketing and sales, what we are part of. We assemble the machines here in our own factory. We do the installation and commissioning at place and sometimes via dealers. And after sales service, which is very important for us because we want to have satisfied customers.
So our branches, we are active in different branches like die sublimation and fixation. This is all about this SGI show, but we also are active in the laminating and coating production, also special products we produce for thermobonding of non-woven, fusing of carpets and thermoplastic composites. But basically this webinar, it's all about the sign and the printing industry. What is sublimation? Well, die sublimation is possible because of the properties of the ink, properties of the base material and the right heat press. The properties of the ink, with the printer you print with ink. The ink goes from a solid stage to gaseous stage without passing the liquid phase. The properties of the base material is important. Polyester textile, because it can only be done on polyester textiles. Yeah, I know there are some mixtures, but at least there are 95–98% must be polyester, and the rest can be cotton. Then also the paper is a special paper because you need paper with a coating. There are some good suppliers of paper like Beaver, Sappi, or of course Nena Kollenhoven, and many more. And then also the heat press. That is one of the important things, because on the heat press you see actually the result of what you have in the process before, printing on the paper and the right textile, put it in the calendar, and there you see the result. So on the next slide I will tell you more about the difference between direct and transfer. So we have sublimation direct transfer, direct to textile, or indirect to textile. That means transfer. For direct, you print direct on the textile, and in this case the textile needs a coating to make sure that the ink drops will stay in the place where you want to have it. With paper transfer it's different, because then first you print on the paper, and then in the heat press or the calendar you transfer the ink to the textile. And as you see in this picture, there is no coating on the textile, so you can use any plain textile, polyester textile.
So, what do you need for sublimation? Now, for sublimation, you need a few things. It's hardware, it's software, and it's consumables. Now, for hardware, you have printers and, of course, the colander, the heat press, or the Klieverik. And for the printer, there are quite some different printers. And if you want to do sublimation, you also need a RIP software to get your own designs and everything in there in your printer and then print it out on the consumables. So you need the ink, you need the polyester textile, the sublimation paper and protection paper. The protection paper is to protect the belt. Select the right heat press. Now, there are 1,000 different brands, but there is only one which is good. Next to that, there are 1,000 different types of models, but which one do you want to choose? It's not always easy to think about, hey, what are the models you have? What is interesting for me? There are a lot of questions you have. Now we have here 3 main questions, and that will help to figure out what colander you definitely need. Now, the first question could be, what is your working with? The other question is, what is your printing capacity? And do you want to do roll-to-roll or single pieces? Now, the first question is, what is your working with? Now, Klieverik has the following working widths in our program. So that's 1650, 1800, 2.5 meter width, 3.2 meter width, and even 5 meter width, which we even win an award.
Johan, the width, which typical width is for signage?
Yeah, so if you look at this, the signage is of course mostly wide width, so that's 3.2 meter width. But of course there are customers who are running smaller widths, and for fashion or sportswear, most of the customers have the 1650 or the 1800. Yeah.
Perfect. So what is your output of your printer? That's what we always ask our customers, because we have drum sizes. The drum size means how the capacity of calculated capacity. We need to know the size of the drum you want. For that, we need to know how many square meters per hour runs your printer. Then we can select the exact colander which fits to your printer. But the next question we have to ask, what you will plan for the future, because a colander you buy almost for life, and a printer will be changed in every 5 years mostly. And the printers are every year getting faster and faster, but also your company can grow. So you have to think about that as well. So then you can say, okay, I have now, I need, for example, a drum with 500 millimeter, then it fits to my colander, to my printer. But maybe it's better to have a one size bigger, because then I'm ready for the future as well. Another question is, do you want to work in 2 shifts, or do you want to work in 1 shift? So if you want to work in 1 shift, then you can better also take a bigger drum, because you can, first you print and then you bring your print to the heat press. The heat press is also taking time. So if you can reduce this finishing, then then you have to pay at least 10,000-15,000 euro more, and then you have a faster colander for your life.
Yeah, so selecting the right heat press. Now, as we said before, it's a roll-to-roll or a single piece. Now, on the left side of the screen, you see a roll-to-roll. It's a small model. This is the 101 1850 with a working width of 1650. And on this model, you can do soft signage, for home textiles or fashion and sportswear, but all roll-to-roll production. And it is possible to do transfer printing, like the sublimation transfer printing, or fixation of colors, which is direct printed. Now, on the right side, you see the model with a table. Now, this is our single piece flow line. And on this model, it's possible to do single pieces or even roll to roll. So it's a sort of a hybrid system, let's say. With this machine, you can do fashion, sportswear, or even personalizations like towels or pillows or mouse pads or all small kind of things that you would like to transfer from the paper to your textile.
So now, Johan, you will show us the GTC 101 3.5 meter, which is a roll-to-roll machine. And let's have a look at it.
Okay, great. This is the Klieverik GTC 101 3500 with a working width of 3.2 meters. This calendar is used for sublimation transfer printing and fixation of direct printed fabrics, like flags. In this case, we're going to show you the fixation of beach flags. But first, we need to prepare the machine for production. To protect the belt, we need protection paper or tissue paper. To avoid inks on the drum, we also protect the drum with protection paper. Now we are ready for production. Let's fixate these beach flags on the calendar. Thanks for watching. Let's get back to Jörg and Johan. So okay, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Now we're going to look at the second video, because we also made a video of our flowline model, the one with the table. But this one is slightly bigger, because this is the GTC 141. So it's a 1 meter diameter drum. Great. Very interesting. So look at it. Enjoy.
Well, this is our GTC 141 2000 SP flowline. It's our biggest drum size in the flowline series. It's a hybrid version. You can do roll to roll, but also single pieces. All tension controls are pneumatic adjusted with disc brakes. Here you see the separation bar to avoid coasting. Now we are running roll to roll, So the printing paper is moving over the table, and here you see the fabric and the paper go into the colander and then wind up out the back. It's a low tension rewinder, and as you can see the bright colors, this is all because the perfect heated drum. Also single pieces are possible on the machine. In this case you see some face mask production. But actually it is designed for bigger pieces like fashion, sportswear. The cut pieces will be put in place on the printed paper, and then it moves into the colander, and out the back you can take up the printed pieces. Wow, that was fast, Johan.
Interesting.
And beautiful colors.
It did, yeah. But that's the brilliance of the machine. So let's go a little bit deeper into the technology of Klieverik.
Yeah.
So why are we the best?
Everybody likes to know where the beautiful colors come from. Well,
yeah. And
Johan, tell me.
It's not easy. So let's go. The key. So what we have here is we have key principles: the heating drum, overflow vessel, the belt, very important part, and the up and unwinding. So let's go. Jörg.
Yeah, this is the key principles of calandering. You need temperature, a very even temperature. So that's what you can get with your Klieverik. Contact time. So the time with how long your product is into the colander process, and the belt pressure. So temperature, time, and pressure. Yeah, sublimation starts at 190 degrees. So basically between 190 and 200, especially on a Klieverik, 195. Then it's you have the best temperature. Contact time depends on the colors. If you have some standard colors, light colors, then I can recommend 30 seconds to 40 seconds. If you have really dark colors, then we always say take some more time, because you want to evaporate all the gas out of your paper, because dark colors use a lot of ink, and what happens in this process, you have to evaporate these gases. And if you are too quick, then you see some strange effects, which will be result in defects.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So the heated drum. As you said, it's very important to have a very stable temperature, and the way how we do that is one very important part. So that's the hot cylinder, the drum. We have multiply heating elements, as you can see on the picture on the right, which helps to get a very even temperature. So these heating elements are directly inside the oil and will mixture constantly. Now that helps, because we have so many heating elements. It helps to heat up the colander quite quickly. Now, during a process, you don't use constantly 100% of your energy capacity. You only use around 50%. Now, the reason is when you are at temperature, it switches off and on during process, because you don't use constantly 100%. Now we have, as I said, the perfectly mixtures of the oil. That's basically a very good secret of us. We have a special inner drum, which helps to get this perfect mixture of the oil. And that makes that we even get on 5 meter width drums within 2 degrees Celsius temperature.
Okay. So do you have to change the oil?
No, you don't have to change the oil. No, that's a myth.
Question you always will get.
Yeah, it's always a question, but you don't have to change the oil. No, not at all.
So the overflow vessel, this is a important part. It's different from other brands. I think we are almost the only one who have this way of heating. It's a unique concept because, as you know, oil, when you're heating up oil is expanding. Every 100 degrees expand with 5%. So if you have 200 degrees, you have 10% expanding. So the oil vessel will be filled, and then we ensure that the complete drum is filled, 100% filled with oil.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one, York. I actually made a video of it because I thought, hey, to make it more easy.
Well, show it on the video then.
Yeah, okay. Let's watch this one.
This is the overload fuzzle of the Klieverik GTC 101 1850. When you switch on the column, the multiply heating elements inside the drum will heat up the oil. When the temperature rises, the oil will expand. This expansion will happen inside the overflow vessel. With this technology, you will always have a completely filled drum with every set temperature.
Okay, but then we also have to tell you something about the belt, because the belt is also special at the Klieverik. We have the longest belt in the market, and that helps the steering of the belt. So it's you can imagine how longer the belt is, how really steady it is on the drum. So it's not shifting that much, which you can see with other brands, but the Klieverik is the best. We also have a special steering system. As you can see on the right picture, you have a sensor which will be detecting, and then if the belt go to the left, then it will automatically bring back to the right position.
Yeah. So we have one customer of us who was really happy with the machine. I think this is a good example of a customer who is satisfied about this model. So let's look at the video.
But we get a lot of questions about belt change. Yeah. How often do you have to change your belt? Well, it all depends also about how many hours you use it per day. If you have one shift, if you have 3 shifts, if you have 24 hour, 24/7, that's all makes the difference if you have to change it every 3 years or every 5 years. Yeah. But, show me the video of this.
I will show you. It's also very important to use protection paper. That's also helped the lifetime of a belt. So let's look at the video.
Yeah.
Well, seriously, my Klieverik is the best machine I've ever bought. It's the only machine I've ever bought that I've never had any problems with. All my printers, whatever, they're always dying, heads, this and that. My Klieverik is bulletproof. I cannot kill it if I try. It's awesome.
What about your belt? When is your belt change?
We're replacing our belt, and it's been 9 years. So there you go.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
Great machine.
The winding. And rewinding. Now, tension control for the textile. Now, the unwinding of your textile is done by manual brake, and the rewinding of the fabric is done by our low tension winder. It's a special low tension winder which helps to get when you have very stretchable fabrics or, for example, black pack fabrics. To wind it up as low tension as possible. But if you want to have a tight roll, it's even possible to put it more tension on it. If you look at the paper of your transfer paper and your protection paper, that is on the entry and also on the exit pneumatic brakes, disc brakes. And that will always give a very even tension on your paper. Now regarding the winding shafts, these winding shafts you see on the right picture, the winding shafts are lightweight aluminium shafts which have a rubber black cord that can fasten the cardboard tubes or cores. Now I've made a small video, Jörg, to explain a little bit better how to handle these shafts. So let's take a look at it.
The winding shaft is a lightweight aluminium winding shaft with a black rubber cord. This black rubber cord will help to fixate the carbon tube. Here you can see how we place the winding shaft the correct way inside the carbon tube. You always have to keep one of the two black cords on the top. The winding shaft has two different ends. One is squared shaped, the other is round. The square shaped side will be fixed to the brake.
So the future of apparel manufacturing is on-demand apparel microfactory. On-demand apparel microfactory is the bridge to just-in-time manufacturing of apparel. So everybody knows the traditional way of apparel manufacturing. That's where you make all your clothing first, so you make all your cost up front. Then you wait till your customers see the garment in the shops, and you hope they buy enough to recoup your investment. This way of production means a lot of designing, prototyping garments, shipping time, large inventory of fabrics, etc., etc. And you hope that you sell enough to make profit. In the worst case, you have unsold garments in the store, which you only can sell for a few cents of margin. This is the traditional business model, where you can carry all the risks. Now, the new way of producing garments is on-demand manufacturing. This is a complete game changer. Now the customer sees the product first, buys, pays for it, and then you make the garment. In this case, the garment is paid before you make a single piece. That means no minimums, no inventory, no high overseas shipping costs. So the microfactory makes it possible. It's a combination of design, automation, finishing, production, equipment for all different companies. With this microfactory, you can produce your orders in order quantities as small as one. So you need a software design for designing the fashion and the sportswear. You need a printer to print on the paper. You need a calendar from Klieverik to transfer the ink to the textile. You need the cutting system to cut the pieces out of the textile, and then a sewing station for stitching everything together. So with a low labor cost, you can set up this complete microfactory. So what makes the microfactory special? Well, the footprint is small, there are no minimums. But if you talk about the footprint, of course you can enlarge it when you're growing your business. But this microfactory will be placed close to the customer. You can produce on demand for yourself or for other designers. You can work with micro-influence to promote a new product and see if there is demand for. And then the customer pay for it before you produce a single piece. So easy changing collections is possible. There's no large inventory of textiles, and that results in low risk. That makes it so special.
Sounds very interesting.
Now it's time to have a look into the microfactory where they make sportswear and fashion items. So this is a complete setup with EFI Reggiani, Klieverik, Zund, Eaton Systems, and Henderson Sewing. Watch this video. Here at the microfactory, we design the garments with computer software. We drop the files to the printer. The printer we used here is the Reggiani Next to print on water-based sublimation ink on sublimation paper. After the design, is printed to the paper, it's time to transfer the ink to the fabric. We remove the roll from the printed, bring it to the heat press made by Klieverik, and in this case they use the GTC 101-8050 SP flow line, which is a hybrid transfer printing calendar. You can produce roll to roll and also single pieces on this machine. The Klieverik is the best solution for this microfactory because it has an oil heater drum for consistent temperature. This and the even pressure of the belt gives the best transfer printing results. In this case we used roll to roll function because the next step is cutting the pieces on the Sund cutting table. On the Sund you can cut your nested pieces, and all individual marks of each piece will be scanned by an optical eye, and the cutter will cut out the most efficient way. So no single scissor is needed. After cutting, you're collecting the pieces, and instead of bring them hand by hand to the finishing department, we have now the full automated Eaton system, which bring the pieces automatically to the next production process. The sewing station of Henderson, sewing all the pieces together and finish the garments. The Eaton system moves the finished garments to the packing and send it to the customer address. So on-demand apparel microfactory is the future of garment production. You can make money and profit upfront before you produce any single item to reduce stock and waste. If you want to know more, contact Klieverik.com. This was Jörg Schumann. Now we go back to Johan and George at SGI Dubai Klieverik webinar. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the microfactory, Johan. So,
Yeah.
And of course, for this
very
region,
interesting.
Middle East, I think, of course, soft signage is important.
Yeah.
Because especially in Qatar, the World Cup take place in 2024.
Right.
But what you also see in this region, there will be a make industry now. Production will come to this region instead of only the oil. Now they also want to produce garments. And for that, I think the microfactory is really a game changer.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. It's a good idea to look at these possibilities.
Absolutely.
Very good. Yeah. So let's go to why to buy a Klieverik.
Of course, the robust design.
Yeah.
You see it when you see the machine. It's really absolutely. The design is fantastic. It's also easy operation.
Oh yeah, you see it on the videos that we are shown. It's easy to operate. It's easy to get to all the particles. It's easy to put the shafts in. It's a very easy machine to work with. Yeah.
So and the excellent temperature control we have said it many times in this webinar. That's the most important, because if you have a worse heating system, then you have a lot of headache, because you're at the calendar, you see the results. What you do upfront wrong, then you see it in the calendar.
Yeah, and that's why you need a calendar, a Klieverik calendar, which have a best control, which gives good quality. Yeah. Now another benefit is the small footprint. You sometimes see in the market these massive machines, which is not necessary. I mean, why to make an airplane if you want to have a small footprint machine with a compact design and easy to operate? That's what you want, isn't it? Yeah. So.
Also, the parts we use first class parts available in the market, and this means a minimum of consumption of spare parts.
And last but not least, of course, the first class service, where our guys from service are very important. We want to have satisfied customers.
Everybody says they deliver service, but Klieverik at Klieverik, we make sure that you get the best service.
Yeah, You're right. Okay. So last sentence that we have.
At
Yeah.
Klieverik, you don't buy a calendar, but you invest in the best technology, and you will get a business partner for life. That's our motto.
Yes, and it's really for life. I know for sure, because these machines will stay for life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Jörg, this was very interesting, interesting presentation. I think
hope
with a
that-
lot of information.
Yeah, I hope that everybody who have, all the audience who have followed this webinar is really happy now, and they know what to do, how to invest in the best calendar in the market. And yeah, if you have any questions, we already said it, chat with us, call us, or send us an email.
Yeah.
And we come back to you. We have our local resellers can help you. Look at our website and your nearest reseller can help you, or you can call us direct. No problem. We travel all over the world, so when it is possible again after the pandemic, we will happy to visit you. But don't worry to invest in a Klieverik, because the machine always runs. It's plug and play, and no headaches.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Jörg. It was a pleasure working with you together doing this amazing, good webinar. Thanks.
Thanks, Johan.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
See
it.
you next time at
See
work.
you in person next time in
Okay.
SGI
Great.
Dubai.
Okay.
Ciao.